Okay, I am unmuted now. Oh my gosh, I went through so many. I already went through a good amount of it with no sound. Go figure. I make mistakes. All right, so we're rolling from the top. I'll have to cut this part out. But either way, if you're joining us this morning, good morning to you. The first out of the 5 roadblocks as we keep going on with the show must go on. The first one is I am. And be very careful of these I am statements, saying I am not enough, I am this, I am that, and not having so much strength and so much having these strong opinions towards these things. Humans go we're so much more than just these emotions. These are things that we experience, but they do not represent the reality of who we truly are. So be very careful of this, because I believe this is the first roadblock, and this is the most common roadblock, because people tend to identify very strongly with whether it's our emotions that we just experienced that come and go, or it's also just these I am statements of I am not enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not this, and I'm not that. Okay, over here, I'm going to check over here on my Instagram. Oh, yes, people are commenting that there was no sound in the first 7 minutes of this video. Oh, man, it's been one of those weeks for me already, folks, but that's life, and we're rocking and rolling. Don't give a crap. We're going to the top, baby. So on to the next point as we're moving forward. So the next roadblock that holds people back from success is this idea of like needing a specific purpose. I literally teach a class on purpose. I've been coached on purpose. I have written out hundreds of purpose statements time and time again. I continue to revise. I continue to gain more pieces to the puzzle as I try to find my purpose. And in the past, I would always stress of like, yeah, but I don't have my perfect purpose. I don't have the purpose that if we don't have a purpose, I think the purpose should just be better. So the default purpose is be better. It turns out if we want to really help and save the world, we just become a better person. We set the example. We become a leader. We represent for the people that we love and care about most. If you want your friends and family to be healthier, be healthier. If you want your friends and family to really educate themselves and take themselves to the next level, then we represent this within ourselves. So if you need a default purpose, I would say going to be better. However, if you want something that's a little more meaningful, that evokes positive emotion, because that's all this is we come back to this emotional piece, which really has a huge impact on how we see ourselves and how we act. So if you want to create a purpose statement, I think helping others is always a great way to go. People are usually always willing to do more for others than we are for ourselves. So purpose. Okay. So not stressing about the fact that we have a purpose statement. If you want to create a purpose statement, you can take my superhero class where you're working with me over a 6-week period over the biggest topics of our lives, such as vision, values, purpose, creating that purpose statement. And you can check that out at oneplp.com. Okay, on to the next one, perfectionism, creating in action. Okay. The next one is perfection is creating in action. Perfection. I go to other YouTube channels, and maybe this is, I still make mistakes all the time. I had this video on for 7 minutes without any audio and not talking, and that probably is not going to get people to click through. Is that frustrating to me? Yes, of course. That makes me really sad, but what am I going to do about it? Just quit and give up? And just understanding I'm not very good at a lot of stuff. Okay. And I'm going to get better. I'm going to keep taking a step forward, because like, what's the other option? Just sit around all day and do nothing? To just mope and wallow in my big pot of pity? Nope. So perfection is just, it's a concept, not a reality. And just wanting to make sure that we keep taking action even when it's tough. Keep taking action when we don't have all of the answers. Keep taking action when it doesn't feel perfect. And maybe that's making social media or creating content online. Maybe it's starting that business that you've always wanted. Maybe it's getting into a public gym and working out and not caring what other people think, because people really aren't thinking about you. So perfection, it creates a lot of inaction. So being very careful of that. It doesn't need perfect to be taking on to the next step. Okay. Next up is thinking without action. So thinking without action, we can pretty much boil this down to overthinking. Overthinking. Okay, overthinking, being very careful of this. I tend to do this all the time, and you do it too, or you either overthink or you lie about it. One of the two, right? So overthinking, we want to be very careful of this and just taking the action. I think the more we think about it, the more that we're going to think, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong, and it's going to prevent us from doing what it is that we need to do. So thinking without action. And again, I'd be lying to say I'm not thinking a lot about how I just screwed up and didn't have the audio on the first part of the video. And it's kind of hard to keep my train of thought. And it just shows that we're all human. And with you, whatever you screw up or do things like that, don't let it, try not to, we're going to overthink. But are you going to let it keep you from keep going and doing the things that you want to do? So maybe it's a good example that I actually did that this morning. So overthinking it, we want to be very careful. Yesterday at one of my rental properties, I actually had someone pass away, and I'm just having a ton of issues with it. And the situation's pretty tough, and not all the people like me, and it's really stressful, and it really sucks, really. But I can't let it overthink it and like let people like just make it. I still need to move forward. I still need to do this in order to trade the piece of real estate to hopefully get a better piece of real estate that matches with my goals, with my family's goals and my dreams and my values. And so being very careful, this overthinking thing. I harped on this one because I do it all the time, and it's caused me a ton of unnecessary suffering. And I really hope it can help just learning more about it. I'm doing it so much less than I used to, and that's all I can really ask for, is to just be doing it less. So this is another roadblock, I think, in the Tony Robbins dialogue of reducing it. And to think that I'm just going to destroy overthinking and never do it again is absolute nonsense. But if I can bring awareness to the table, I believe that I can greatly reduce it. In the past, I would have turned this video off and just gave up and then been really upset all day. But pushing forward, people are proud of the hard road. People are proud of putting in the work and becoming a stronger, better person. Okay, next up is number 5. So disempowering beliefs, stories, and narratives. This is the final roadblock that we have to be getting over. This ties, like the overthinking is the feeder into this. You can tie like 5 and 1 together, essentially. So people take these stories. I like to call them shit sandwiches. I think people eat shit sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, dinner, all day long. These disempowering beliefs. I am not enough. I am a loser. I am broke. I am this. And it's like, no wonder why you're sad. Of course, if you're feeding that crap to yourself, then yeah, you're going to feel like crap. We feed ourselves crap. We feel like crap. We look like crap. Go figure. Smell, quacks like a duck, sounds like a duck, all that stuff. You get what I'm saying. So these stories, we got to be real careful for them. And we got to try and find our truth. Not somebody else's truth. Not your parents' truth. Not your friend's truth. But our truth. What is true to us? What is true right now? What is the evidence? What are you proud of? What do you want to celebrate? What are we grateful for? If your heart's beating and we're living here in America, there is something to be grateful for. And trying to attach this evidence to these stories so we can rewrite our narratives. That's all we can do, right? Is rewrite the narratives. What's the old story? What's the new story? And continue to transition and become the person that we know. If I had to ask you just a powerful coaching question, who's the person you need to become? What's the dialogue? What's the narrative? What are the beliefs? What are the stories that need to go on in our heads in order to become the person that we want. It's easy to get frustrated in this world. There's so much going on. There's so much stimulation, just drowning in information, but we're starving for wisdom. And I think this wisdom is to learn about these roadblocks, to try and better understand them so we can be happier and healthier people, not only for ourselves, but for the people that we love and care about most. Okay, folks, that's all I really had today. These were Tony Robbins. He has a bunch of other roadblocks and patterns. These were the ones that resonated with me the most in my story, my journey. So I wanted to share them with you. So just we'll kind of re-roll them, recap through them, make sure we got a good angle on them. So first one is stopping the language. Be very careful of I am. You are not words. Like, you're just so much more beyond that with consciousness, being the energy, being the spark for other people, loving, laughing, and living. There's so much to be grateful for. So we're so much, be very careful of like, I am this, or my anxiety and my emotions. These are moment to moment things. Be very careful of that. Next up is, again, be careful of like stressing out about not having your perfect purpose statement. If you want help with creating a purpose, I teach a class on purpose and really understanding your purpose and how you want to help people and how you want to impact. I think it's an incredible exercise everyone needs to do. So investing in the training if you really want more, but really at the end of the day, we want to be kinder to ourselves and kinder to other people and helping other people. So finding your purpose. Be careful of this perfectionism. It just, if you think it needs to be a certain way, it just, in my experience, it's just kept me from taking action. Thinking without action is, man, that's a recipe to just suffer and just like live in our heads and beat the crap out of ourselves. And lastly, be really careful of these disempowering beliefs, stories, and narratives that roll on through our heads. All right, folks, that's all I have for today. I got to bounce. I got to go turn the water on at one of my rental properties. Just got some stuff touched up, so we're going to turn the water back on for tenants. All right, I'm going to have a really busy day. Look out for my podcasts. I'm going to be really nailing them. Next week, I got a handful of them, and I actually am doing a recording for one of them tonight. It's going to be really fun. Someone from within who makes music, is a teacher, really cool individual. Actually interviewed his wife not too long ago, so that'll be really fun. But that's all I have for today. Thanks for sticking around, folks. I really appreciate the comments on the audio stuff, checking in with that. And yeah, but that's all I have. Cheers, friends. Love you all. And in case you need to hear it, I love you. You're a badass. You got this. Man, I could not get that out of my head of making that mistake. So maybe this is a learning lesson for all of us. Like when you make a mistake, just the practicing the art of letting go. It's like, happen, doesn't mean anything. And I'm going to do it. It's just how long am I going to let it ruin my day or this or that? And it could always be so much worse. So a lot to be grateful for. Cheers, friends. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm out of here. Peace. Love y'all.